In the photograph, he looks like the man who had already won. Nobody could see how many of his biggest ideas had nearly destroyed him. Thomas Edison was born in 1847 in Milan, Ohio. He left formal schooling after only a short time and was largely educated at home by his mother. A childhood illness left him with serious hearing loss, but it also pushed him toward a world where he could work quietly for hours without being distracted. As a teenager, he worked on trains, selling newspapers and snacks to passengers. He also built a small laboratory inside a baggage car. Then, an experiment went wrong. A chemical fire broke out. The railroad threw him off the train. It could have ended his obsession before it began. Instead, Edison moved deeper into telegraphy. By his early 20s, he was working as a telegraph operator and developing improvements to electrical equipment. In 1868, at 21, he received his first U.S. patent for an electric vote recorder. It was a failure. Legislators did not want a machine that could make voting too fast. That failure taught him something uncomfortable. An invention could work perfectly and still be worthless if nobody wanted it. He remembered it. In 1877, the phonograph changed his reputation. He recorded sound and played it back. People had never seen anything like it. Newspapers called him the Wizard of Menlo Park. For a moment, it looked as if Edison could invent anything. Then he chose the problem that would consume him: electric light. Gas lamps already worked, arc lamps already existed. The challenge was not simply making something glow. Edison wanted a small incandescent lamp that could burn for hours, be manufactured cheaply, and operate safely inside ordinary buildings. That meant the bulb was only one piece. He needed generators, wiring, switches, meters, sockets, and a way to distribute electricity to customers. In Menlo Park, New Jersey, Edison and his team began testing materials for the filament: bamboo, carbonized fibers, different metals, different designs. One failed, then another, then another. The work became a cycle of testing, breaking, recording, changing one variable, and starting again. The public saw an inventor. Inside the laboratory, it was closer to industrial gambling. Money was being spent before anyone knew whether the final system could make a profit. Investors were waiting, competitors were watching, and every failed experiment pushed the deadline further away. Then in 1879, the breakthrough came. Edison and his team produced an incandescent lamp that could operate for many hours. The problem that remained was much larger. Could they make an entire electrical network work? On New Year's Eve 1879, crowds gathered outside Menlo Park to see the laboratory illuminated by electric light. The scene looked like the future. But Edison knew the truth. A demonstration was not a business. If the lamp worked only inside his laboratory, he had invented a spectacle. So he built the system around it. Generators, underground conductors, meters, distribution equipment, everything had to work together. In 1882, Pearl Street Station began supplying electricity in Lower Manhattan. Its first customers received direct current from a central generating station. The experiment worked. For a moment, Edison had what every inventor wants: proof. Then, the next problem arrived. The electricity could not simply travel forever through the same system. The economics of long-distance transmission created an opening for a competing technology. George Westinghouse backed alternating current. Edison defended direct current. The disagreement became the war of the currents. Edison publicly attacked alternating current and emphasized its dangers. Westinghouse pushed forward with a system better suited to transmitting electricity over long distances. The disagreement became the war of the currents. Edison defended direct current. George Westinghouse backed alternating current, which had one major advantage: it could be transmitted over much greater distances with less energy loss. Then came the test that could decide which system had a future. At Niagara Falls, Westinghouse was chosen to build a hydroelectric power system using alternating current. In 1895, the Niagara Falls Power Company began generating electricity. The system transmitted that power to Buffalo, about 22 miles away. It worked. For the first time, alternating current had demonstrated that electricity could be generated at one location and efficiently delivered to a distant city. The balance had shifted. Edison's direct current system was still useful, but it was far less practical for large-scale, long-distance distribution. The inventor who had helped bring electric light into homes was now watching a competing technology become the foundation of the modern power grid. That was not the end of Edison's career. It was the moment his real legacy became visible. Edison had built something more durable than one winning machine, a research laboratory organized around teams, experiments, prototypes, measurements, and constant iteration. The model spread far beyond Menlo Park. By the end of his life, Edison held 1,093 U.S. patents. The light bulb made him famous. The phonograph made him a legend. But his greatest contribution may have been the method behind them, because the man remembered for inventing the future spent much of his life surrounded by things that did not work. His advantage was not that he avoided failure. It was that every failure became information, and every piece of information became the next experiment. The photograph shows the Wizard of Menlo Park. The story behind it is much less magical. That is why his greatest advantage was never a single brilliant idea. It was the ability to remain in the room after the idea had failed, when everyone else had already started looking for someone else to blame. That's his story. Every week on Silent Grind, one more person who was counted out and didn't stay down. Subscribe. The next one might be exactly what you needed to hear.